Today we are focusing on a project that is finally finishing this storage container that we started when we built the outside of the bus but never finished. So, to complete this whole side, we will finally finish this storage area right here. And now that I have the welder out, I need to cut and measure a piece that will go from here to this side to give the bottom a little bit more support inside this area. Now that I had that piece of metal welded in and the entire kind of frame of the storage container done, I decided to spray it with some rusty metal primer to make sure no rust forms or any more rust actually develops on those pieces of metal. And to make the box, I'm using this 3/4 inch OBS board, and I know this isn't good for outdoors, but like the other box that I made above the black tank, the whole exterior is going to be sealed in with red guard, so I'm going to paint it with the red guard and then paint it with underbody paint or the kind of truck bed paint to make sure it is 100% waterproof from the outside, and I'll paint the inside black to kind of seal that up as well. So I'm just measuring here and cutting out all the pieces that I need for the box itself, and not sure what I'm going to do with the door, if I'm going to do a metal frame door or make the door out of this OBS as well, and then waterproof that from the inside outside, and then put a piece of sheet metal on it to kind of finish it off. So just cutting this piece of wood right now, measuring it, and then I'm going to build it so it fits and slides right into that opening that we have in the front of the bus. So this board, all these two are at the bottom here, one of the boards will go up the top, and that will make the box. So after cutting all the pieces of wood, measuring everything and putting it where it needs to go, I was able to glue up the entire box. So like I said, this interior part here will be all painted black, and then the outside will be painted with the red guard and then the undercoat paint. So we're gonna fit this box into this spot over here, make sure everything lines up, and then we can paint it with the red guard, slide it in, and secure it. So here I am kind of just pushing it in. I made it a little bit tight, that way it fits nice and snug, and that way we have a nice secure box that's not really moving anywhere. And after that I need to secure it down, and I secured it down with 6 screws that went into the frame or the skeleton frame on the inside. I then put a bead of this black silicone around to cover any of the gaps and make it waterproof. After that dries, we will be able to paint the inside black, and then we can mask off and paint any of this excess that kind of got messed up with the blue exterior paint. I did cut the door out here, so that will get wrapped in a thin sheet metal and then have the hinge on one side that will fit right in. And I'm not sure if I will put a little gutter on the top here to deter a lot of the water from going in. I'll have to see how it looks, but for right now we're just going to focus on this black silicone drying so that we can paint the interior tomorrow and finish up the door. now that's all cleaned up, and we have the door right here as well, taped off on the side. We're going to paint the back of the door, and we're going to paint inside this storage area with this just Rust-Oleum oil-based paint, so that it's a thick layer inside there. It might take a little bit longer to dry, but that way it's going to be coated a little bit better with the oil-based. So let's get started with that. So it might be a little hard to see, but the entire box in there is painted black. Like I mentioned before, the last thing we want to do is just paint these pieces along the side to match the color of the bus. And then we have the back of the door painted here. And I did buy some rubber foam to go around the inside, and then this will be the hinge once we get the door painted and put on. And now we have the door inside, and the back side is completely painted. But we're focusing on this side, and we're doing it inside because, well, here's the condition outside. It's pretty much been raining all day. So we want to scratch this up with the Scotch-Brite pad, and then we can paint it the same color of the bus, let it dry inside, and then we have the hardware here for the key that will go into the side. We will drill a hole and set that all up, and then we'll have this painted as well as the trim pieces on the box itself, and then we can install the hinge on the side and finally bolt it up. I initially wanted to paint this with the sprayer like I used on the entire bus, but it's still raining outside, so I decided that I was going to use a roller and a paintbrush. And after starting with the paintbrush, I realized this paintbrush was soft enough that it didn't leave any streaks or lines in the paint on this panel. So I decided to just use the paintbrush on the entire door. And it came out pretty nice. Now we just need to wait for it to dry. We can install the latch and the hinge, and then install this onto the bus itself. Alright, so now that the door is painted on both sides, this side, that side, and I made a little notch there that I need to paint where the door lock will go. We have that hole there, so we can install the door lock, and then on the other side right here, we can install the hinge. And we were finally able to get the door on. The only issue I do have is this hinge. It's just moving around way too much, and the bottom part. But the door closes, and the issue is there's a bigger gap here than there is there, so I think in the future what I'll do is I'll put a better hinge up top and have it open up this way. But yeah, that is our storage door in the front. So with this door done, that kind of wraps up this video. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next video.